If you work hard, get a good education, and still struggle with money, this is not your fault. You were never taught how money actually works. From the moment we're young, we're trained to believe that success follows a straight line. Study hard, get good grades, land a stable job, work for decades, and everything will be fine. But for millions of people, it's not fine. They work harder every year, yet feel more stressed, more trapped, and more dependent on their next paycheck. And the most dangerous part is this: they believe something is wrong with them. In reality, what's wrong is the advice they were given. Think about this carefully. Why do people with high-paying degrees still live paycheck to paycheck? Why do some people who earn less appear calmer, freer, and more financially secure? Why does money seem to flow towards certain people while others feel like they're constantly chasing it? The answer is not effort, it's not intelligence, and it's not luck. It's understanding the rules of money, rules that were never taught in school.
This is why Rich Dad, Poor Dad became one of the most controversial personal finance books ever written. It challenged traditional education. It questioned job security. It upset people who believed hard work alone was enough. And yet, millions of readers around the world felt something powerful while reading it: relief. Relief that they were not broken. Relief that there was another way to think. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two fathers who represented two completely different financial mindsets. His real father, whom he called his poor dad, was highly educated and deeply respected. He believed strongly in formal education, stable employment, and playing it safe. He worked hard his entire life, yet constantly worried about money. His friend's father, whom he called his rich dad, had little formal education but a deep understanding of business, investing, and cash flow. He took risks, failed often, learned fast, and eventually became wealthy. What made this contrast powerful was not income, it was thinking. Poor Dad believed money was earned by obedience and security. Rich Dad believed money was created through ownership and systems. Poor Dad taught him how to avoid mistakes. Rich Dad taught him how to learn from them. One mindset focused on protection, the other focused on growth. One of the earliest lessons Rich Dad taught was simple but uncomfortable. Most people work their entire lives for money instead of learning how to make money work for them. From childhood, we are conditioned to trade time for income. Hours become paychecks, years become careers, and slowly, dependency replaces freedom. The moment a person fears missing a paycheck, they lose leverage. Fear becomes their boss. Kiyosaki explains that this fear traps people in the rat race. The rat race begins when someone earns money, increases their lifestyle, takes on debt, and becomes dependent on maintaining that income. When income rises, expenses rise even faster. A bigger house, a nicer car, more subscriptions, more obligations. On the outside, it looks like success. On the inside, it feels like pressure. Rich Dad believed that fear of losing money is the main reason people stay stuck. Fear causes people to play safe. Fear causes people to avoid learning. Fear causes people to cling to jobs they hate. The rich feel fear too, but instead of letting it control them, they study it. They ask different questions. They seek different solutions. This leads to one of the most misunderstood lessons in the book: the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. Most people believe their home is an asset, but Rich Dad disagreed. If something costs you money every month instead of paying you, it is not an asset, no matter how good it makes you feel. The rich focus on acquiring assets first: businesses, investments, royalties, anything that generates cash flow. Only after building assets do they buy luxuries. This lesson alone changes how you see money. Instead of buying things to look successful, you buy things that make you successful. Instead of chasing status, you chase freedom.
Instead of increasing income, you increase cash flow. Kiyosaki emphasizes that wealth is not about how much money you make. It's about how long you can survive without working. Someone earning a high salary but dependent on it is not wealthy. Someone with modest income but strong assets and low expenses has power. Wealth is time. Wealth is choice. Another major theme of the book is education, but not the kind taught in schools. Schools teach academic intelligence, but ignore financial intelligence. Students learn math, history, and science, but not how taxes work, how debt works, or how investing works. As a result, people graduate prepared to work, but unprepared to manage money. Rich Dad believed financial intelligence had 4 core skills: accounting, investing, understanding markets, and understanding the law. These skills allow people to see opportunities others miss. Without them, people remain employees forever, regardless of income. Taxes are another area where the gap between the rich and everyone else becomes clear. Employees earn money, get taxed immediately, and try to survive on what remains. Business owners earn money, manage expenses, reinvest strategically, and pay taxes last. This is not cheating, it's literacy. The system rewards those who understand it. The book also challenges the idea of job security. Rich Dad believed job security was an illusion created to make people feel safe while staying dependent. Companies downsize. Technology replaces roles. Entire industries disappear. Depending on a single paycheck is not safety, it's risk disguised as comfort. Instead of relying on jobs, Rich Dad encouraged learning skills that create leverage: sales, communication, leadership, investing. These skills allow people to move across industries and opportunities. The goal is not to work harder, but to become more valuable.
Mindset appears again and again throughout the book. Poor Dad often said, "I can't afford it." Rich Dad asked, "How can I afford it?" One statement shuts down thinking, the other activates it. One accepts limitation, the other seeks possibility. Failure is another key theme. Poor Dad avoided mistakes. Rich Dad embraced them. He believed mistakes were the price of education. People who fear mistakes never grow. People who learn from them gain confidence. Financial growth, like personal growth, requires discomfort. Kiyosaki also warns about listening to the wrong voices. Most people take advice from friends and family who are also struggling. Rich Dad believed advice should come from people who live the life you want. Success leaves clues, but only if you're willing to study them. One of the most powerful insights in the book is that money does not create greed. Fear does. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing status, fear of falling behind. When people understand money, fear loses its grip. Calm replaces anxiety. Choice replaces desperation. As the book progresses, the message becomes clearer and deeper. Your greatest asset is not your job, your house, or your savings account. Your greatest asset is your mind. The ability to learn, adapt, and see opportunities is what creates long-term freedom. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not about getting rich quickly. It is about changing how you think. It is about unlearning dangerous beliefs. It is about understanding that working harder is rarely the answer. Thinking differently is. In the end, the book leaves you with a decision. You can follow the traditional path, work hard, save money, retire late, and hope it's enough. Or you can choose financial intelligence, build assets, learn continuously, take calculated risks, design your life intentionally. Because money is not the ultimate goal. Freedom is. If this video made you question what you were taught about money, hit the like button. It helps the channel grow.
Subscribe if you want more deep story-driven book summaries that challenge your thinking. And comment below what lesson from this video changed the way you see money.